And let's first get you all the highlights, the details that we've picked up on the Prime Minister's meet with Chief Ministers yesterday on the coronavirus surge. Now, Prime Minister Modi's ruled out another lockdown. After a high-level meet with all the Chief Ministers, Prime Minister spelled out his mantra to curb the COVID second wave. He urged all states to focus on micro-containment zones. He also repeated the test, track, treat mantra, cautioning against treating asymptomatic cases lightly. On vaccination, Prime Minister Modi urged against vaccine wastage to boost vaccination across states. He's also proposed a vaccine mahotsav. This will be from April 11th to April 14th. The common man is facing punishment for not wearing masks, from fines to even physical assault in some cases. But our netas are seen mingling freely with crowds during poll rallies, throwing social distancing and mask norms to the wind. One nation, two rules.
Masks for citizens, not for netas. The Aam Aadmi faces punishment for not wearing masks, ranging from fines to writing imposition to, at times, even physical assault. The Neta hunts for votes without any worry. That is India for you. One nation, two rules. One for the Aam Aadmi and one for the Neta. So we have leaders who should be role models mingle freely with crowds, brazenly throwing caution to the wind, breaking all social distancing and mask norms. Beat Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala or Assam. Beat the BJP or the Trinamool or the Congress. One Neta even suggested there is no need to wear a mask.
मेरा लगता है कंट्रोल में है. आप मास्क पहन रहे हैं, मैं नहीं पहन रहा हूँ.
नहीं वो ठीक है, एक व्यक्ति पहन रहा है.
मैं नहीं, वो भी नहीं पहन, हम लोग नहीं पहने हुए हैं. मैं नहीं, अभी तो हजारों लोगों का.
मैं यही आपसे पूछने वाला था.
जरूरत नहीं.
एक तरफ इतनी सख्ती और अब मास्क की जरूरत नहीं है.
नहीं है.
क्यों
नहीं है?
जय जय श्री राम, जय जय श्री राम.
And now Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, the BJP's star campaigner, finds himself in the eye of a storm. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Vadra has accused Adityanath of continuing with his campaign despite allegedly coming into contact with a COVID-positive person. Priyanka alleges the UP Chief Minister is campaigning at a time hospitals in the state are overwhelmed. These election rallies are being held at a time coronavirus cases are surging in the country. India is recording over 1 lakh daily cases now. The election states, which are currently low on COVID numbers, are sitting on a ticking COVID bomb. Bureau Report, India Today.
And India continues to be in the grip of coronavirus. Maharashtra, the worst hit state, recorded over 56,000 fresh cases in the last 24 hours. With the surge, the active case tally in the state now has breached over 5,20,000. The state also reported 376 deaths in one day. Financial capital Mumbai too reported a huge surge in its COVID tally. It recorded nearly 9,000 fresh cases and 23 deaths in the last 24 hours. National capital Delhi clocked over 7,400 fresh cases. That's the highest it's reported this year. With this surge, the positivity rate in Delhi has now reached 8.1%. As cases continue to spiral out of control in nearly 11 states, there's either a partial lockdown or a night curfew that's been put in place. Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh are the latest to introduce night curfew. Remember, Prime Minister Modi, in his meeting with all state chief ministers, had termed the night curfew as a COVID curfew and endorsed it.
कुछ लोग ये इंटेलेक्चुअल डिबेट करते हैं कि क्या कोरोना रात को ही आता है. हकीकत में दुनिया ने भी ये रात्रि कर्फ्यू के प्रयोग को स्वीकार किया है, क्योंकि हर व्यक्ति को कर्फ्यू समय होता है तो याद आता है कि हाँ, मैं कोरोना काल में जी रहा हूं और बाकी जीवन व्यवस्थाओं को कम से कम प्रभाव होता है। हाँ, अच्छा होगा कि हम कोरोना कर्फ्यू रात को 9 बजे शुरू करें या रात को 10 बजे शुरू करें और सुबह 5-6 बजे तक चलाएं, ताकि बाकी व्यवस्थाओं को प्रभाव ज़्यादा न हो। और इसलिए उसको कोरोना कर्फ्यू के नाम से ही प्रचलित करें। और कोरोना कर्फ्यू एक प्रकार से लोगों को एजुकेट करने के लिए काम आ रहा है, अवेयरनेस के लिए काम आ रहा है।
So with several cities and towns imposing night curfews as well as weekend lockdowns, COVID threatens economic recovery again. Various sectors are fearing losses because of the curbs that have again been put in place.
काफिले को बार-बार हिदायत दी जाती है 10 बजे सुबह 5 बजे तक नाइट कर्फ्यू लगा दिया गया है।
Ground to a halt. The pandemic plunged Asia's third biggest economy into a recession. But green shoots emerged sooner than expected as India unlocked. The country exited recession in December quarter. The GDP limped back to positive territory.
It will ensure that the overall research ecosystem in the country is strengthened.
An encouraging budget followed, based on which the IMF raised India's growth forecast to 12.5% for the new financial year.
A 12.5% growth is conservative given a contraction of 8% in 2020. So in terms of sequential growth, quarter-on-quarter growth, it is quite conservative. Good news in terms of positive year-on-year growth, things are recovering. But again, virus poses a downside risk, and still there is a distance to go in terms of still catching up.
काफिले को बार-बार हिदायत दी जाती है जो भी 10 बजे से सुबह 5 बजे दुकान खुली मिल गई उसके ऊपर कड़ी कार्रवाई करी जाएगी।
The downside risk is visible. The virus's surge in the new fiscal has again begun to hit the economy. With night curfews, weekend lockdowns in place in some of the major urban centers. Businesses now brace for yet another disruption. The proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, they say, could just be receding.
The small and medium businesses are already feeling the heat from the night curfews and the localized lockdowns. The retail sector, the hospitality sector, the recreational sector is now biting the bullet when it comes to the new surge.
Restaurants, eateries, bars emptied out early on the first night of the night curfew in the capital. Professionals fear their businesses may plummet again when it has barely recovered from the lockdown.
The lockdowns, as announced by certain states, have actually, in some cases, excluded the manufacturing sector and also exempted certain categories of services. To that extent, the economy will not be impacted. But however, for the other sectors that are closed, and in some of these states where a significant portion of GDP is generated, it is going to impact both the services and the other industries as the markets may be closed.
Last year impact till now, it has got a major impact on the hospitality industry. A lot of restaurants are closed. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of revenues has come down for the restaurant industry. And I'm fearing the same again with this impact. Even though we have to follow the government norms, we are following it as per the social distancing, checking of temperatures, masks and everything. But still we are fearing that the revenues will be lost, major revenues will be lost in this.
The epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, Maharashtra is a hub of India's automobile industry. The worst hit state accounts for more than 1/3 of the country's auto output by value. Up to 20% of cars and SUVs you see on the road are manufactured in Maharashtra. The industry foresees new roadblocks ahead.
कोई भी लॉकडाउन उस गति को गंभीर रूप से बाधित कर सकता है जो कि ऑटो रिटेल इंडस्ट्री ने पिछले कुछ महीनों में हासिल करी है। पिछले साल की दृष्टि में उपभोक्ताओं के मन में बहुत ही भय है। वो अपने वाहनों के परचेजेस को डेफर कर रहे हैं ये पिछले हमने 5-7 दिनों के अंदर में अक्रॉस इंडिया देखा गया है।
A virus that brought down the global financial system is threatening to reverse small recoveries once again. With Aishwarya Paliwal and Ram Kinkar, Bureau Report, India Today.
And let's get to our special segment this morning on the fight against coronavirus. Here's the good, bad and ugly news.
Bringing you the good news on COVID-19. Now, the government has decided that offices can vaccinate eligible beneficiaries from 11th of April. 100 such eligible beneficiaries will be allowed to be vaccinated by office premises if they can tie up with a vaccination center nearest to them. This is a relief for those who work in big offices and can vaccinate themselves at their workplace. Well, the bad news on COVID-19 is that not just the state of Maharashtra, but even Uttar Pradesh and Delhi are states that are needing more vaccine doses and facing a vaccine shortage. In Varanasi, out of 66 vaccination centers, only 25 are administering the vaccine at this point. Both Covaxin and Covishield are in short supply. In Delhi, the rush is so much that many of the times they are being sent back and being asked to come back again at the Delhi government vaccine centers. In the ugly side to the COVID-19 pandemic, this incident comes from Vadodara in Gujarat, where a 65-year-old man succumbed to the COVID-19 infection, but his family could not even find an ambulance to take him to a cremation ground, and that is why they had to take him in a lorry. The healthcare systems in these states are becoming overwhelmed, which is why inhuman treatment to those who are dying of COVID-19 is being seen in such states.
A mega rally showdown seems imminent in battleground Bengal. Days ahead of Prime Minister Modi's rally in Barasat on April 12th, the BJP has written a letter to the Election Commission urging it to deny permission for Mamta's chopper near his rally venue. In a letter, the BJP has claimed that the Trinamool wants its chopper to land at a distance of a mere 2 kilometers from Prime Minister Modi's rally venue. Citing law and order, the Saffron parties urged the poll panel not to allow the TMC chopper to land within a distance of 10 kilometers from the Prime Minister's rally venue. The battle for Bengal is heating up. It is not just a question of TMC versus BJP. MP from the AIMIM, Asaduddin Owaisi, has taken on Prime Minister Modi over a viral image. Owaisi was referring to this image you see on your screens, where a Muslim man is seen whispering something in the Prime Minister's ear. Owaisi, while mocking the Prime Minister, asked what did the man in the skull cap tell the Prime Minister. He then taunted Modi, saying that the Muslim man was possibly telling the Prime Minister that he isn't from Bangladesh, or that Muslims won't show their NRC papers, or perhaps that he didn't believe in the triple talaq law. Owaisi also said that the Muslim man might have told Prime Minister not to make a fool of the nation.
अभी थोड़े दिन पहले अखबार में आपने फोटो देखा होगा, एक मोदी जी के बाजू एक आदमी खड़ा हुआ है, सर पे टोपी है। तो मीडिया के लोग हमसे पूछे क्या बोला होगा वो, तो हम बोले तुम सुनोगे, तो बोले बोलो। मेरे को नहीं मालूम कि वो क्या है, कौन है, मैं तो आप जानते, मैं तो नहीं जानता। बोले क्या बोला होगा, तो उसने कान में कहा मोदी जी मैं बांग्लादेशी नहीं हूं। किसी ने पूछा और क्या कहा होगा, तो उसने कहा मोदी जी हम कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे एनआरसी एनपीआर के लिए।
India Today's accessed the inside details of former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh's questioning by the CBI in the Maha Hafta Gate. As sources are telling India Today that during his questioning by the probe agency, Parambir Singh stood by his allegations against Anil Deshmukh. Reportedly, Parambir Singh provided further details of the case, even presenting evidence of Deshmukh's conversations with his officers Sanjay Patil and Sachin Vaze. Sources said that the CBI will be recording the statement of Vaze and Sanjay Patil today as part of its preliminary probe. Reportedly, during the preliminary probe, if the agency finds the allegations of Parambir Singh true, then an FIR against Anil Deshmukh and several others will be filed by the CBI. Remember that Parambir had alleged that Anil Deshmukh, the former Maharashtra Home Minister, had asked him to collect 100 crore through illegal means. Eyes are on the India-China Corps Commander level talks that will happen at Chushul today. With Pangong disengagement complete, the focus is on other friction points at Gogra Post and Hot Springs. The Corps Commander meet will also focus on resolution of pending issues, particularly in the Depsang Plains. This will be the 11th round of Corps Commander talks. This meeting will take place on the Indian side in Chushul. Earlier in February, Chinese troops had pulled back from north and south banks of Pangong Lake. India today had also accessed exclusive images of the PLA pullback. Talks will be held at a time when the Chief of Defence Staff had warned that China is capable of launching a cyber attack as well against India. 5 days, CRPF commando who was held in captivity by Naxals in Bijapur was freed. The CRPF commando was missing since April 3rd after the deadly ambush which claimed the lives of 22 of our braves. Shortly after his release, celebrations broke out in Jammu, his hometown.
The 5-day ordeal of CRPF commando Rakeshwar Singh Manhas has ended. Ever since April 3rd, Manhas's fate was unknown after he was abducted by Maoists. He was missing after the deadly ambush in the Bijapur forests of Chhattisgarh, in which 22 security men were killed. The abducted Cobra Commando was freed in presence of hundreds of people. A group of journalists and local social worker, Dharampal Saini, are said to have mediated for Manhas's freedom. The Jawan was handed over to an 11-member team of the mediators and local police. At the residence of the CRPF Jawan in Jammu, joyous scenes erupted after the news of his release came in. Sweets were distributed to celebrate the moment.
Right now we are at the residence of Rakeshwar Singh Manhas here in Jammu, and behind me you can see the family members and the relatives of Rakeshwar Singh Manhas have erupted in joy as soon as they got the news of Rakeshwar Singh Manhas's release from the captivity of Naxals. They started celebrating, they started hugging each other, they started distributing sweets.
बहुत खुशी है, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
क्या कहेंगे सरकार ने जो प्रयास किए?
क्या करना, थैंक यू सो मच उनके लिए।
पिछले कई दिनों से मायूसी का माहौल था।
हाँ, माहौल तो था पिछले।
लगता था आपको, मतलब उम्मीद थी पूरी कि वो नक्सली उनको छोड़ देंगे?
हाँ, पूरी उम्मीद तो थी, बट डर भी था।
और बहुत ज़्यादा शुक्रिया, थैंक यू सरकार का और मोदी का और मीडिया वालों का। बहुत उम्मीद रखी थी हमने, भाई चलो घर आएगा। पहला दिन बहुत मुश्किल से निकाला, दूसरा दिन थोड़ा अच्छा आ गया। ऐसा करते करते थोड़े दिन 3-4 दिन जो निकाले बहुत मुश्किल से, आज का दिन बहुत अच्छा आया हमारे को।
After the loss of 22 security men in the bloody gun battle, the abduction of the commando had come as an added blow. His return on Thursday was a small consolation for the forces still reeling under the devious Naxal ambush. With Kamaljeet Sandhu in Raipur and Sunil Bhatt in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
And with that, it's a wrap of this edition. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day ahead. And as always, for all the top headlines, you can log on to our website, indiatoday.in. Do also download the India Today app.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.